Is social media worth your time as a photographer? My name is Kevin with KF SEO Media. I have ran a photography business, still do, with my wife, wedding photography, family photography for the past 8 years. Is social media worth our time? If it is, good. If it's not, what's another alternative out there, even while you're doing both? So that's the question that I'm going to be talking through right now. The whole point of this channel is just educational style content like this that you can just subscribe, join me in some of these conversations, and I would love to see comments as well and find more content to talk about. But is social media worth your time? Now, here's what I'm talking about with this. What I mean by worth your time. My wife built her photography business from Facebook and then Instagram. Okay, so Facebook and Instagram were the two driving factors that built our business. Okay, that was the foundation of it. I find it's a little bit different now. I mean, maybe there's the algorithm changes, and I don't even like trying to find out what is the algorithm doing. You do need to be aware of that, but I don't like doing that. I wish you could just be like, here's our business, here's some pictures, and people see it. But how it's turned at the beginning, Shayna used to post regularly, okay? Regularly post, and she would be able to reach a lot of people through her Instagram. Here's her pictures, they look great. People would follow her, followers would see her, eventually they would reach out, they'd book a session, and we kept growing our photography business that way, especially on Facebook as well. And this equaled a lot of clients. Now, the good thing from that is our foundation is we have a ton of returning clients. Now, little tip, you need to have returning clients in your business if you're going to continue growing and stay in business, because it's hard to continually find new clients, but returning clients are where it's at. So that's how we built our photography business in the beginning. But then what seemed to happen over the years is that the algorithm or the reach has changed unless you are paying for ads. So unless you're doing paid ads, okay, that's kind of the way to get in front of people now. I'm actually going to be testing some campaigns here in the next little bit, but that's not my focus right now. But when you're spending all this time, but here's the question, is it worth your time? Now, here's why I don't know if it is worth spending all of your time, okay? That's the bigger question, is how much time should be spent towards social media and what other things should you put it towards? So in social media, here's what I don't like about it, is it can stop anytime. The algorithm could change. You could basically have, however you spell algorithm, the algorithm could change and basically all of your posts are no longer seen. That's something that can happen. And it seems like there was times when like Shayna was losing followers for whatever reason, people weren't seeing her content. Like it goes through different phases and stages like that. And then there's lots of trends you have to follow. And I find what's so frustrating is like you can put so much effort into something like educational like this, but then it's like, I'm going to post a 10-second meme about something that's really, actually it's stupid, but it's funny. So that draws people engaged to it. But it's like, that's what people like versus like actual educational stuff. It's kind of frustrating in that sense. But so there's trends, there's different things. You have to have certain music you got to put on it and different things like that. So with social media though, what can happen is it's not something that you're building an asset. Now, if you had a massive following that you built, great, that could be an asset. But I'm talking to the person who's out there who's like, I'm growing my business and I know that I should be doing more things, but I'm not getting to this. I'm not at the stage that I want. So obviously you're not at a stage where you have 100K followers, but it's not an asset. That's what I was going to put. It's not an asset. If you stop posting, your presence basically stops. If you stop posting, your presence stops. And that's what I don't like about it. I've noticed that, is that if you stay consistent with it and you keep going with it and you keep posting reels and you're making great content, which is also can be very time consuming, putting so much time and effort into a video, putting into a post, or making sure there's really good copy that you're writing. If it's like a 3-second reel, I really don't like those posts. But if you're doing like a 3-second reel and it's like a big long written thing and it's getting lots of views over and over, you still have to put lots of effort into what's being written there. So it takes effort and time, and it's so competitive, and it's so oversaturated. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. I really think that you should, because I think people go to social media, they see you, they see a presence. So I think it's necessary to do social media. But you could put all your time and effort there, or you could put it into something that actually is going to last you a long time. You're going to see this as a common theme that I'm going to be talking about forever. is your website, unless something changes drastically, but your website is an asset. You can continually add resources to it. You can create different pieces of content. You could even make a video and post it on there and try and get that in front of people, and people can link back to it, and it can just be a resource for everyone. It's not just linked to a social media platform. It could be shared on social media. It could be shared on forums. It could be shared on blog sites. It could be shared everywhere if it's something that's good, that good of a piece of content. But more importantly is you own it. It's actually something that you created. Maybe somebody created it for you, but it's on your site. That is something that you can pass on. That's your business. It's almost like a newsletter. A newsletter is like another piece that if you have a ton of emails, you own those emails. So it's kind of the same idea. I'm not going to talk about newsletters today, but you can own emails as well, right? You can have email addresses and have that. That's your clientele. So if you have a website that is strong and it's well-purposed, resourceful, then this could be something that you can continually build off. Okay, something that's resourceful, but you can continually build it regardless of Facebook changes, regardless of Instagram changes or TikTok, or all the things change and some new app pops up. Then you still have something that every campaign that you do is always going to be, not always, but most of the time it's linked back to your website. If you're doing paid ads, that goes to your website, okay? If you're doing social media, you have your site in there, that goes to your, you have your site and your handles, that goes to your site. You could have anywhere really. I can't even think of other things right now. If you had a podcast, that goes to your site. Pretty much, even your YouTube channel. If you had a YouTube channel like this, that goes to my site. If somebody really wants to inquire and book with you, you need a website. So just know that that's your foundation for SEO, for having a presence, and then you can build off of those other places and link back to it and work at those and have a consistent strategy across the board of what you're doing. But have a website. I know that if I create a piece of content and I put time into it and I write a really good blog about something to do with SEO and photographers, or something about here's how to build a photography business, or here's how to do engagement photos, or here's what wedding photography should be like. Those aren't very specific things, but just as examples. If I put time and effort into those, it's going to stay on my site. I can keep working at it. I can keep building across it over years. And as my site builds authority over years, you're going to have an asset that is going to be worth something, and it's going to make you money. So all my point is this, is that if you have a certain amount of time that you can allocate towards creating something, put some focus into social media. Okay, seems like the big hype because everybody's there. But I'm telling you, you will stand out if you put your effort into a website. If you go look at luxury photographer, wedding photographers, they all have nice sites. You have to have one. So start at the beginning, work at it, start today, work at putting it in. If you don't have someone that knows how to do that, reach out to somebody and ask them for help and say, I need to build my website. Maybe you want to create the stuff, but you just need some insight on how to structure the pages and do that. Figure that out or ask for help. And you should start building on your website starting today. Okay, just know it's a long-term asset. It's not going to turn off if you stop working on it. You can always come back to it. You can keep adding things to it, but it's just going to get better and have more authority as you go, as long as it's good content. Okay, and there's a purpose behind it, and it's helpful for the people who are on it. I'm not saying put together AI articles. Don't do that. It's about good pieces of content, good quality content that showcases you and that actually helps somebody. So your website, spend time on your website. Can't emphasize it enough. All right, signing off. KF SEO Media. And subscribe.